Hi folks, I'm here today again to talk about the wound of identity. And anyone who has been following my page or reading my posts this week will be aware that I'm speaking very much about the wound of identity and Chiron, the wounded healer. And there's a very good reason for that, because this weekend, today, in fact, earlier today, 7:30 UK time, we had a new moon in Aries, and it was conjunct Chiron, the wounded healer. So we had this conjunction between the sun and the moon and Chiron in Aries. So I have called this video Fighting for Your Identity. So why do we have to fight for our identity, or why am I using the word fighting? Well, so often we do have to fight for our identity, and I'll explain a little bit more about that. When we're speaking about our identity, we're very much talking about solar plexus energy. And the solar plexus is associated with two signs of the zodiac, Aries and Leo. And Aries is ruled by Mars, the god of war. So I want to refer you to this book, which is my chakra Bible, basically. I absolutely love this book. Anyone who was on my 7-week chakra healing course, we use this very much as the basis for our course. And it's called The Complete Guide to the Chakras by Becca Waters. And in this book, she describes archetypes for each chakra. And the archetypes for the solar plexus are the warrior and the servant. So the warrior represents the healthy solar plexus energy, and the servant represents the depleted solar plexus energy. So I'm going to read her definition of the warrior and the servant. So the warrior is an empowered person with a definitive sense of selfhood. Warriors know who they are in themselves and in relation to the world. Their sense of self is neither inflated nor weak. They have the inner strength and resilience to see their dreams materialize into reality, and the stamina to meet physical and emotional challenges. They are able to fight the good fight for love, victory, and the glory of God. So that's a description of the healthy solar plexus energy, somebody with a very strong sense of identity and who they are. Not an inflated sense, not a deflated sense. So now I'm going to read the definition of the servant. The servant is a person whose sense of personal identity is anchored in the external world, always seeking confirmation from others. Servants work hard for others' acknowledgement. They sabotage themselves by giving their power to others to define who they are and what they need to do. They lose energy trying to please others for the affirmation they are unable to give themselves. That's really powerful. Really, really powerful. So there is a very big difference between servant energy and the energy of being in service. And I'm going to explain the difference between those two energies. So servant energy, as we just read in the definition, is caused by a lack of identity. When somebody doesn't have a strong sense of identity, they're very easy to control. And they're very easy to manipulate, and they become the servant. They become the servant to other people, serving what is in other people's best interest, but not necessarily, at the expense of their own best interest. Being in service is more of an energy of knowing who you are and what you have to offer, what you have to bring to the table. It's an energy of, here I am, this is who I am, and this is what I can offer you. But it's rooted in this very strong sense of self. So why do we have to fight so hard for our identity? If you think about the world that we live in and the systems of control that we live in, all of these systems operate on keeping people removed from their sense of identity. Very much society, religion, the school system doesn't support people learning and understanding who they are as individuals. It's all about performing in order to get an external reward from an external source or an authority figure. So if you think about in school, children are conditioned to perform and do their schoolwork and do their homework and do what they're told, and they get rewarded for that by their teachers and then by exam results and examination boards and with degrees and all of this. But at the end of the day, you could be coming out of your education full of you could have first class degree, master's degree, and you could still not know who you are as a person. So this energy is really strong right now, this weekend, and you may have felt it leading up to this weekend. And I know that I was sort of playing around with the question, just asking myself over and over again, just affirming to myself who I am. And one of the ways that I really got to know who I was as a person was through astrology. It was through spending a lot of time on my own in meditation as well, and getting to know myself, getting to know my likes and dislikes and my preferences and my own needs and what lights me up and what I feel a real sense of purpose and mission about, which is very much related to energy work and healing, and especially working with women and healing the feminine energy. So I now have a very strong sense of who I am, and my mission is also to help other people to understand who they are and to develop a sense of their identity. I have very strong Chiron in my chart because it's conjunct my sun, so I actually have this wound of identity. I don't have Chiron in Aries, but I have Chiron conjunct the sun. So I do have the wound of identity, and that's something that I have had to work very hard to overcome in my life. And then once you work very hard to overcome a challenge in your life, then you're in a position to be able to help other people to do the same. So that's something I'm very passionate about. But as I was saying, I was playing about with this question, who am I, who am I, who am I? And really what came into my mind as I was driving along thinking about this was, who are we? Who are we as a collective? Are we a slave race? Or are we something so much more? And I believe that we are. I believe that our true identity has been hidden from us by a system that benefits from us staying detached and separated from our true selves and from our true identity and from our true potential. And it is healing that wound that I am very passionate about, and I'm going to be focusing so much of my attention on in my work in the coming months and years. So I hope this video has been really interesting. Let me know in the comments if it resonates, and I wish you a very happy new moon and a lovely weekend.